Yes, everybody, my name is Simon Templar. I'm gonna play a game called Simon Says. Are you ready? Lord of mercy. Follow me, 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 follow me. Yes. Follow me, 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 follow me. Show up. Show me the red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. Me open them up again. Follow me, me say red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. Me open them up again. Follow me, Simon says. Put your hand in the ear. And wheel them like you just don't care. Simon says, when your body straight down until you touch the ground. Simon says, jump up, up, up. Cause you know you are the cream of the crop. And if you love this a style and you're not at your house, me want the crowd of people to come ball and show. Red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. Me hope every massive can follow me. Me say, red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. Me hope every massive can follow me. Simon says, get your education. Cause you know that the style and fashion. Simon says, stay away from the drugs. It will attack you like a dangerous bug. Simon says, stay away from the crime. Cause you know you can't take the time. Simon says, oh no, feel listen up clear. Me, I go drop it on the very last gear. Lord, oh no, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. Oh no, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. Oh no, kick, open, side to side. 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 Simon says, do the water pump. Simon says, do the Simon says, Simon says to come and bubble on your toe. So Simon says yes, and Simon says no. So Simon says stop. Simon says go. Oh no, follow me, follow me, follow me. One of my children's songs from back in the day, a dancing and of course a participation song. Like green light, 1, 2, 3. Me hope every massive can follow me. Me say red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. Me hope every massive can follow me. Simon says here and wheel them like you just don't care. Simon says straight down until you touch the ground. Simon says jump up, up, up. Cause you know you're at the cream of the crop. And if you love this style and you now carry on, we want the crowd of people to come ball and show. Simon says, what? Simon says, yes, it's a children's program today with adults. We want parents and children in this one because we're going to be talking about children's numerology, keeping them active and healthy with Sister Asmaaa. See, she's also a school teacher. Simon says, cause you know you can't take the time. Simon says, me I go drop it on the very last gear. Lord, don't know if you follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. Selector, don't know if you follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. Lord, open side to side, on the kick. Open side to side, on the kick. Open side to side, on the kick. Open side to side. Simon says, what a pump. Simon says, do the jam. Simon says, do the work, got it. Simon says, they come above upon your toe. So Simon says yes, and Simon says no. So Simon says stop. Simon says go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your brother, King Simon. Yes, so in the next few minutes, we got our sister Asmaaa coming in the building. Asmaaa Z will be coming in the building. Oh, yes, I'm going to be turning that particular song into a children's book with the song added. So you'll be able to get all of that, and that's going to be fun. All right, so look. Remember, in the next few minutes, we got Asmaaa Z coming in. She's a school teacher. Also, she's a numerologist. She's a health teacher. She's also a chef, a holistic chef. So we're gonna be coming in and showing you how to at least keep them active, understanding numerology as your children. Both of us, from her perspective, my perspective, going to drop it for you. We're going to be on here for an hour. But if you have children, this is a good show to share with family that has children right now. Share this, share this, share this. Thumb up the video, share this, share this, share this. Let's build the algorithms. Let's thumb up the video and share this because it's all about sharing, because sharing is caring. And I know our children can be stressful at this time. Boy, do I know. They can be stressful. So when we're going through these type of
situations in society where the children can't go out to play, or there's a certain quarantine or certain things going on and you got to be a little bit more protective. There's a paradigm that shifts, and sometimes the children just don't understand. A good book to get, Dr. Africa's book. Now, this is a very good book to get on his website. That's lailaafrica.com. That's www.lailaafrica.com. Controlling, Understanding, and Raising Black Children from Infants to Teenagers. Very good book because he comes from the Maadic perspective, he comes from the Kwanzaa perspective, he comes from the ancient Zulu perspective. According to his book, he goes through the whole thing: cultural ethics, morals, and principles of raising your children. That's right. So he's doing it in this book, very thick book, I'm telling you. So it's a very good book to get. LailaAfrica.com. Let me put that on the chat right now before Asmaaa Z comes in. This is if you want the children's book, the children's book by Dr. Africa. Make sure you go and get it right now at www.laila, Laila Africa, Africa.com. Make sure you go and check that out right now. Go and get that book for your children. Very good book on the do's and don'ts, the ups and downs, the health, the ins, the outs, all of that. Dr. Africa really covered it in this book before, and I'm so happy that he has left a strong legacy for us to remember. Also, don't forget, anytime you support me, you support the Baba. He is the producer and the publisher. He is the publisher of my books. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. No Promotion is Bad Promotion is a motivational book, and also my children's book, which I'm gonna have to order some more, but it's a children's book on health. Our numbers are simple. Our children's health is important. So make sure you get my book online, of course. And of course, we got to support one of our Babas, Lloyd Strayhorn, Numbers and You, Numbers and You. Make sure you support one of our Babas, Lloyd Strayhorn, Numbers and You. Very good book, my friend. And of course, we're getting ready to bring in Asma in a few seconds and make sure everything is all right. This is your brother King Simon from King Simon Presents, also King Simon at IG, King Simon on Instagram, and all that good stuff. I'm telling you. So please, 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 King Simon Productions on Instagram, Numeroversity on Instagram, King Simon Productions on Facebook, King Simon on Facebook, MC Simon also. Now, if you've been trying me on MC Simon, I lost the password, so I got to go and do the whole password things over. So it is what it is. All right, I got that for my little man. The Numbers and You. Okay, great. Make sure you get my book. Numbers Are Simple. Our Children's Health is Important. That's also very good book to have in your collection if you want to know about potential ailments that can be attracted to your child. And we'll probably touch on that also because you know, if we're not healthy, we won't get wealthy because your health is your wealth. And how y'all doing out there? How's everybody? Where are y'all located? Where's there? It's 26 people up here. I want y'all to share the video. 26 people. Share it. If you share it with at least 5 people, we can boost up these algorithms and like. I got 8 likes. I need to see at least 27 likes. Stop playing. Give me the 27 likes. Uh, you know, 27 likes. I'm telling you, you got 27 people up here. I should have 27 thumbs up right now. And I'm all about motivating people, even during the times that we're in. As you know, I am a disaster preparedness instructor for years. And yes, we got to prepare, but we also have to maintain our focus. So let's go state hopping, continental shopping, and hopping all that. Okay, I see Massachusetts in the building. I see Ohio in the building. I see Cali in the building. Okay, I seeing y'all. I seeing y'all. Where y'all from? Where y'all from? Where you from? Where you from? I see, like I said, I see Massachusetts. I see I'm from Brooklyn. You know, Brooklyn Zoo. New York. New York is hell. You remember? New York is hell. That's it. Let's keep it moving. I'm joking. I'm having fun. It's a hell of a town. The fifth gulf, you know, the hole in the ground. New York, Illinois in the building. What's up, Illinois? Yeah. You know what it is. So, of course, we do numerology. I do numerovation. I like to motivate people with the numbers. Big up to Philly, Brooklyn in the house. That's right, Brooklyn in the house, even in Japan. North Carolina, Chi-Town is in the building. What's up, Chi-Town? Hope everything going all right. North Kakalaki. What's up, North Kakalaki? How you doing, family? Big up to North Kakalaki. Every bit I have some family out there too. So big up Chi-Town is representing. I see Chi-Town come up twice or 3 times. You know, you come up 3 times. I know something. North Carolina came up again. Okay, okay, stop playing. North Carolina's in the building. Okay, non-stop. Pick up the North Kakalaki, man. I was thinking about buying a house there in North Carolina, at least some place to go and just relax and chill. Dan, what Dangerfield, Texas. What's up, Texas? How you doing, Texas? Big up to Texas in the building. I was out there in Houston when I was out there in Houston, so that was fun. Had a good time in Houston. Had a great time in Houston, man. We had a great time hanging out with Philly. What's up? Had a great time hanging out with Baba James Smalls. That was good. That was a good look. I just want to make sure it's on my phone so I can text y'all. Okay. Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia in the mother flipping building. What's up, Georgia? How y'all doing out there? I know, I know, I know. Let's stay focused out there in Georgia, man. Let's stay focused out there in Georgia. Oh, they're gonna turn up with y'all. They're gonna turn up. That children's book coming for the children's book. Yeah, man, get that children's book. Children's books also have, where to go for vaccines. Give you guidance to Dr. Phil Valentine. Over also, certain states are vaccine exempt, but it is what it is. And also, I give you different websites for different health practitioners. And in the back of the book, I give you different recommended reading, a bibliography, of course. Cincinnati, Ohio, what's up? I used to live in Cleveland back in the day. Chi-Town, I performed in Chi-Town back in the day, in the Nation of Islam back in the day. So, hey, I'm with it all, baby. I'm with it all when it comes to that. I'm with it all. Now, for a numerovation numerational session with me, you more than likely can text me. Text me your full name, text full name and date of birth, full name and date of birth, and DOB at 2347 496 1022, and we can set up a consultation and a session with me anytime you're ready. It's all right. I can wait. I'm patient. You know how it is. I think Asma's trying to come in. Let me admit her in. Asma's trying to get in here. So let's bring her in right now. Like I said, we got great Asma. Asma Z is in the building. What's up, girl? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Hold on one second. I'm just talking to the people. Hold on one second. Let me just give them some job. I'm gonna mute you real quick. I'm gonna mute you myself. Hold on. All right. So we got Asma Z in the building, getting ready to go in. Cincinnati's in the building. Hey, 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 hey. It's all good here. That's right. So y'all doing well out there. I'm glad. Look, another book that y'all should order. My good friend, brother, Preparedness Now. It's a manual. If you're a reader, please. He gives you also all the different products, all the different stuff, all the different scenarios that you can go through to get certain things. It's a brother who wrote this book, Aton Edward, Preparedness Now. I'm planning to have him on sometimes this week. His time is kind of really, it's real, a lot of stuff going on with Aton, because Aton has been on major radio, major television. They have him doing Zoom broadcasts and all that kind of stuff all over the world right now. So Aton is a busy man during the disaster preparedness time. And so I got to show him enough respect for that, because he's been doing it for over 35 years. He used to live in the Bronx, and now he's in and out of Canada. So he's doing his thing, man. Him and his wife, they used to live in the Bronx, and they got married and moved on. And she's a hypnotist. So big up to Kendall. What's up, Kendall? Kendall is a really professional hypnotist. Sagittarius spirit, very interesting. He's a Gemini, very interesting energy. I love it. Those two there, something else. So it is what it is. So and without any further ado, we're going to bring on our special guests. We're going to get into some children's numerology, keeping them active and healthy, because right now she's a school teacher. She's teaching online and doing her thing. So enough respect to her and what she's been doing, and to all the frontliners out there, because this is a frontline situation. And when you're dealing with our children, and I'm gonna unmute you right now, Asma. So hold on. When you're dealing with our children right now, let me tell you something. I've studied disaster preparedness. I've had 9 children and grandchildren. So let me tell you, when you are dealing with children and they don't understand what's going on in this society, they are thinking everything is still normal, and then realize that, yo, y'all ain't letting me out. Y'all only feeding me once meal a day or twice a day. Something is becoming stressful to them.
Oh,
So we
yes.
got to remember that we have to be able to maintain some type of civility for the children, whether it's certain comfort foods, and try to switch up the comfort. We don't just give them any damn candy, people. You can go and get some vegan, go get some fruits, vegetables. Remember, candies like jelly beans and all that is a mimic from different fruits like the grapes and all that. So we have one of our great teachers, but also she's an numerologics person. She studied under Lloyd. She studied me. She studied astrology also, but she's also a certified school teacher, right? Certified or degree. You got your degree school teacher, right? You
I
got
have a degree. Yeah, I have a
you're
master's
not
in
certified. Stop
education.
playing. Stop playing. Put some respect on that. You know, it's a degree, Negro. Degree. So welcome, Asma. What's up, Asma Z? What's up?
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you, King Simon, for your platform.
Hey, what's up? How you been? You all right?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well under all of this.
I know, I know. I see all the background. You got all kind of pictures and stuff. Okay, that looks cute, look cute, look cute. Look like a history class back there. Like that. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. On
Yeah.
on this side of mine, I got my books. I got books here, books there, books behind me, books all over the place. I love books. So Asma, let's tell the world. Tell them what you've studied. You haven't studied directly under Dr. Sabi, but you've studied. You went to his old village. You've done help. You've been into teaching for how long?
I would say I've been formally a teacher maybe about 4 years.
4 years. 4 years. Formerly
Yes.
teaching.
But
Before
as
that
you know, as
one.
Black women, we are already teachers naturally
Yeah,
all the
definitely,
time.
definitely. Naturally, I don't know why they had to give Black women a degree because some of them are crazy. Let's be real. Some Black women can be crazy, and some Black men can be crazy. So it is what it is. Y'all need degrees for that. but also you're into health. You got a new book about to come out too, man, and that's
Yes.
what's the name of the book? She's a vegan, holistic chef. What's the name of the book?
The name of the book is Veggiegasms.
Veggie
Um,
gasm. Woo, Lord, y'all gonna have a veggie gasm. That's an interesting mix.
yes, it's a plant-based cookbook that was inspired by different holistic healers and practitioners and just my own health and healing journey. Everyone from Queen Afua to Dr. Sabi to Dr. Africa to Ma'a has all influenced me in a way where I decided to write this book with different recipes and just introducing different grains to people and just sticking
Mm,
to plant-based because
mm.
that's really kind of where I feel like society we need to eventually start going to.
Right, right, right. I'm proud of what you're doing, sister. You got to keep that up because we need young soldiers like yourself doing what y'all do to make
Thank
this world a better place. Make this a better place. For,
you.
for you and us. We gotta make it. We gotta make this a better place for our children to grow up. And what is so? I just want to let people know I put her connections in there for Sister Asma Z, the consultation. You could go to Return to Patra Mama Products 4683 at Gmail or IG at Return to Pachamama or
Yeah.
at Unapologetic Asma. That's ASMAAA, or her cash app is a $A Zabrinsky as ZABRISKIE, and her website is under construction. It's www.returntopatramama.com. That's correct?
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
it's under construction. So look out for the book will be sold through that. And I know right now she's going through the intricate it's editing and doing all that and becoming and I know boy, I got 3 books out and I'm working on these 7 more. And I tell you, editing and putting it together, especially with what kind of cook you're doing a cookbook, right? That's a cookbook.
Yes, it's a
Right. So
cookbook.
all the pictures you take, big up to Stella, my girl Stella.
Yes.
Help take some pictures and big up to the person that's doing the editing. What's her name? You got to
Her
shout.
name is Loretta Norris from Writers House Publishing
Writers House Publishing. So
in
people, if you
Texas.
want to
Yeah.
get your books done, she's a number 7, so she's very meticulous. I want y'all to be very clear about that. 7s
Very
are
true.
the meticulous ones, like the 4s too. They got their own different styles of
Oh yeah.
meticulous. So we got to pay attention to that, and I'm very proud of what you're doing, and commend you for being a teacher on the front lines. And I understand that you're also teaching from on at home now, so you gotta do your work.
Yes.
Now, how's that working with? And what age are you working with?
I work with preschool right now. And it's interesting to teach preschool online. But I actually love how it's working out, surprisingly, because I wasn't always the most tech savvy person, but I needed to get into it. And now that I learned and I'm still learning how to do it. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from the parents of my students. They're sending me emails saying that their kids love the videos and they're just really enjoying it and they think that I'm really there. So they talk back to the screen and they're like, "Hi, Ms. Z." But
No. Hold on one second. Stick a pin. That's very important. That you being online, but yet so animated and so virtually there that the children actually think you're there. And
yes.
that is a skill. Now, I'll tell people that is not easy. I mean, I could act like I'm in your living room, which we are in your living room right now because we have so much energy and so much color with us, especially as
Right.
original Black people, original melanated people. But for your children to understand that from a psychological perspective, that's so important. And I want everybody out there to understand, share this video, because it's about your children. And it's not just the children's numerology, but also keeping them active and healthy during this time. And Sister Asmaaa, I believe, is one of our cheerleaders for that right now. She's one of our NBA basketball or WNBA quotes for that right now. You know, greatest woman of all time for that. We building this. We building this. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
it's very important that we support our sisters. Like I said, I just put her links, and big up to Celestine. She just hit us up. What's up, Miss Wilson? I see you. I see
Yes.
one
Hey,
of our vendors. She's
Celestine.
in Bella. I put all her links up there. The only thing that's not up there is her number because we're trying to get her business number on point. But she got all her email, she got all of her website, she got her cash app. You gotta show these love to these teachers. And would you think you'd be going down a tutorial thing for the general public? Would you be willing to do that?
Yes, I'm definitely looking into that. I'm looking into it with another former colleague of mine who's an excellent teacher by the name of April Jones. And she has her own school actually in upstate New York called the EVC Center, I want to say. And she's another excellent teacher. So me and her have been talking about possibly doing some online homeschooling with everything going on, or even just on one of my YouTube pages, just trying to just post some videos,
What's
some
your YouTube
academic
page?
videos. Huh?
What's your YouTube page?
So I have a few of them. I
Stay
just
focused.
created the
Which one?
I just created the Return to Pachamama Children's Network.
Okay. Well, oh, return to Patra. That's how you're gonna do it. That's the
Yes.
name. Okay, we're gonna say return to Patra Mama. Return to the number two, right?
Yes.
Patra Mama. And tell people what does Patra Mama mean, please?
Okay. Everybody asks that. Everybody says like Pacha, what? But Pachamama is basically an ancient indigenous term for the spirit of Mother Nature.
Mm.
And I feel like because of a lot of things that are occurring, it's causing people to shift in a way where Mother Nature is calling us back for our return back to her, because we've gotten so far away from Mother Nature, the natural ways of eating, the natural ways of living. And we've gotten so much with the new technology and so far gone from where we naturally are supposed to be, in my opinion, that it's time to come back. It's almost like Sankofa, but the indigenous version of Sankofa.
That's powerful. That's good. And we need, and Pachamama is like you said, Mother Nature, because I know even Dr.
Yes.
Sabi used to mention Pachamama. When I
Yes.
spoke to Dr. G, he said, "Oh, certain people that knew the formulas, he'd say Pachamama, and then he says Ma'a. He says Ma'a, which was his wife, Ma'a, who started the whole thing. He always raised his hand and said that. That's what Mr. G told me personally about when it came to knowing the herbal formulas. You know, so big up to Ma'a from the Fig Tree Online, the figtreeonline.com. That's Ma'a, who started that whole holistic journey with Dr. Sabi. As a matter of fact, Dr. Sabi cured her from paralysis and blindness, legally being blind. So that, man, when you find a man that does that, that's Jesus. You better marry him. You better
She's a
marry
beautiful
Jesus.
soul. She's a very beautiful soul.
Oh man, she's born on the 29th. You know she's such a peaceful person. So dealing with children, and now have you found that have you found through your studies of
Uh-oh.
numbers and working with children to deal with children better? Did you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Yes, it definitely helps. I'll give you an example. I have a student right now who's born on the 22nd.
Okay, great.
Me, I'm born under the number 6. So 22nd is a master number. It's a higher vibration of 4. 4
Yeah.
and 6 are opposition numbers. So sometimes the student gives me a hard time.
Now, how old is this student? Don't say their name. How old is
He
this?
is 4. I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah,
name.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
so
yeah.
lovable though.
But
But he's 4.
really, but he gives you a hard time in this.
Oh, he sure does. He sure does.
Hard
And
work.
I have to find creative ways to deal with him. It's
Mm,
actually 2 of my students in particular that are born under the number 22. And I noticed that both of them, children born under the number 22, like building manipulatives.
mhm,
That's one thing that I noticed because 22 represents the master builder on its higher vibration.
mhm,
And so I will find that those kids like to create things with blocks. They love to play with magnetiles. That's their thing.
mm,
They love like hands-on kind of learning. If I'm not being hands-on, sometimes they just kind of go off in their own world. So
mm.
yeah, numbers definitely help me. Helps me with some of my students that are a little more shy. Um, and usually the shy ones happen to be born under the number 7 or the number 2, I notice.
Mhm,
Um, the number 2s, they tend to be very sensitive and emotional children.
mhm,
So I know that they need like reassurance when I'm talking to them, when I'm dealing with them. I have to come at a level of more compassion
mm,
for them to understand me. And number 7s, they are very interesting because they're usually very quiet, but they are just analyzing in their head and processing in their own minds. So, like, I'll have a student where one student in particular, in the beginning of the year, she's a number 7.
mhm,
She would barely talk to anybody.
mhm,
She didn't really want to play with anybody. She always wanted to be by herself. And we would teach lessons at the rug area, which we call the circle time. um, we would teach the circle time lessons and she would sit there and just be looking when I'm like, okay, let me make sure she's understanding or is she not understanding? And she was understanding everything when I was calling her.
mhm,
I noticed that she had a little trouble with expressing what she knew though.
mm.
So that's something that I worked with her on and that I also encourage the parents to work with her on because it's like she knows the information, but her sentences were kind of choppy to try to explain what she was trying to say. So that's something that, I had to learn to work with her on. So it all depends on what kind of child you have.
That is true, and I know you've studied under Lloyd Strayhorn, and you studied. You haven't really studied under me, but you study me.
Yeah.
But and this is one of his good books that has a lot of information about children. He has a segment on children and dealing with parents and parents with children, and that was a key point that you pointed out about you being a number 6 and that person being a 22, the lower octave or the high octave of the 4, and how that is a challenge number to the 6, and why teachers or parents have to recognize that also. See, if
Yes.
you parents recognize, and Sister Asma does do consultation for children and parents, just in case you're having a little problem with your children and you need to get them active to understand them through either their numerology or just to keep them active as a parent. Because let's say somebody could be a number 9 parent born on the 9, the 18, or the 27, and their child might be under the number 2 born on the 2nd
Mm,
or the 11th or the 20th or the 29th of the month, where those are two opposing numbers or challenge numbers to each
right.
other. So if you don't understand that your assertiveness and your fire energy of the number 9 is trying to douse that water energy and not learn to understand that sensitivity that they have, that could be a problem in the relationship with your own child. Does that make sense?
Right. Makes a lot of sense.
So and coming from the numerical point of view or numerology point of view, I see why these different modalities, because you also study astrology also, so
Yes.
that's why I said you're astro numerologics or a numerologist, just like Lloyd. My focus is always on the numbers. I keep it there. I touch on the astrology, but I really commend those that has learned to blend that whole energy with all the different modalities with what they are doing as far as teaching, like you know, as far as working on a job or dealing with business. Now, what's so interesting, how is the relationship with the people that's at the job, the adults? How you are you able to work with them and learn how to know
We
how to
clash a
navigate with
lot, but
because what?
we're learning how to work with each other.
Okay, okay.
So it's interesting because a lot of times I find personally when you run into numbers that are constantly challenged to you, it's
Right.
something that you need to learn from them. And it's
Mm,
something that they need to learn from you.
yeah.
So for example, my whole class, aside from one of my aides, are all number ones.
Mm,
And my mother's a number one, my father's a number one, and I constantly have challenges with number one. Me being a six energy because I'm more sensitive and they tend to be more straightforward. So our communication styles are very different.
right.
Six, we have sixes, we have a communication style very similar to like number twos,
Yeah.
where we need that nurturing, we need that reassurance, we need that, oh, did I do a good job? Sometimes, whereas one energies are like, are you gonna do it or not? Hurry up, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get it done.
That's
And
right.
so I have that challenge with my classroom, but we all get along on a basic level. We just have a little tug of war sometime because me also being a number six, sometimes I don't speak up about things in a
Mm,
way that works for the ones in my
mm,
class.
mm, mm.
Whereas their idea of speaking up is like me saying, you know what, I don't like that you did da 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 da. And I try to not be as confrontational,
Hmm.
even though I can be.
Right.
I try not to be as confrontational. I try to be a little more warmer and gentler. So my mindset is, let's try to do things a little bit different. Instead of doing it this way, let's try to do it this way. And it doesn't seem to always resonate.
Right.
And their directness to me, I take it personal sometimes. So I have to even check that in myself.
Now, you know, those that are just tuning in, we're speaking with Sister Asma Z or Zabrinsky, as you can see on her name. We're on King Simon Presents. We're dealing with children's numerology, keeping them active and healthy. Now, straying off of the numerology right now, as a teacher, and now that you're working from home teaching, what would you suggest to our parents that now have to homeschool in some sense? How would they keep their children active? Because I know this is the time of creativity because we're in a
Mhm.
number 2020 year, and 2020 is definitely going to awaken you to what you need to do in this time, this day and time for the child and you. So, how would you keep them active? Going to a teacher's point of view and then relating to the numbers if you would like to. God, please.
Hmm. I would say I would keep them active in basically trying to just
Right.
knowing your child's strengths and your child's challenges
Hmm.
and working with that. If you have a number nine child or like a number one child, a lot of those children tend to be very self directed.
Hmm.
They want the opportunity to do things on their own. And so for those kind of children, I would give them that space to kind of do things on their own.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Um, if you have a child that has some behavioral challenges,
Hmm.
what I would say is use the things that they like as a form of reinforcing the positive behavior.
And
So,
let's be very clear that everyone on every child born under any number could have behavioral challenges.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, because there's always a higher and a lower octave of every number.
Right.
So you have like, for example, me being a six, I use myself a lot as an example.
Have to.
Um, six children, we tend to be very loving children, very responsible children. We tend to, family connection is very strong with six children. But on the lower octave, six children can be a little jealous. They can be a little controlling. They could have those ways about them that you're just like, oh, you're getting on my nerve.
They
So,
could be hard headed. Yeah, they could be hard headed. Yeah.
yes, we could definitely be stubborn and hard headed. So it's all about knowing your child. For example, if I have a child that really loves dolls, also, I just want to also mention this, every moment is a teaching moment as a parent or a teacher.
Mm.
So something that's a very simple activity can be taken into, you can teach within that activity. So something as simple as you cooking with your child. Say,
Mhm.
for example, if you're eating eggs, you can have the kid count how many eggs are in the carton. Oh, there's 12 eggs in the carton. 12 eggs are called a dozen.
Mhm.
Just something as simple as that. Also, in terms what I was touching on, what I was trying to touch on in regards to behavior,
Mhm.
is having the child earn time to do things that they want to do
Mhm. Mm.
after they complete the task that you need them to do.
Right. Right.
It's very important to really get in the academic times whenever you can while your kids are at home, because you don't want them to lose the skills that they already learned in school. You want that to continue and to build up for them. So when they go to the next grade after all of this stuff is over, they'll be able to just flow in nice and easily.
Mm.
Um, Let me see. So I noticed, for example, one thing that I like to do with my students, and that we have to do in the curriculum that I have, is we have to teach sight words.
Mhm.
My students are 3 and 4.
Right.
How the hell do you teach sight words to 3 and 4 year olds?
Right.
So what we started doing from the beginning was we got them to master the lowercase and the uppercase alphabet and the letter sounds first.
Mhm.
Then what I did with my students was I taught very simplistic 1 to 2 letter sight words, but using the sound to figure out the sight words for words that can be phonetically, that you can sound out phonetically. So for example, it.
Mhm.
So we would go it. And I said, what sound does I make? Eh. What sound does T make? T. Eh. T. Eh. T. It. Squish it together. It. So when they started doing that, I noticed that my students started trying to phonetically sound out more words.
Mhm.
Even though sounding out doesn't work with probably about more than 40 something percent of words,
Mhm.
you still want to teach that as an emergent basic skill to just starting to read and just starting to understand what a word is. Like I had to teach the students, okay, a letter is one thing, but a word is when you put more than one letter together to formulate something with meaning.
Mhm.
Um, so just breaking it down for the kids and then building them up and scaffolding as they learn on more and more information.
Mhm. Mhm. So those that are just tuning in, we're speaking with our beautiful sister Asmaaa Zabrinsky, a very interesting last name, of course, and she don't
Ah,
Zabrinsky
it's
like
a Polish last name. It's a long story.
yeah, very long, very long. And keeping them active and healthy. Now we're just talking about their activities, but a lot of parents at home are probably pulling their hair out at this time because they're saying that this is going to extend either to the 1920 or into the 30th of this month. Now, because this is one of those months that we're in an air, and I want to stress that because we're in an Aries energy family, try to curb your anger for your
Mhm.
children when they do certain things. Learn, because nine, although nine in the studies of numerology can be the warring and the military and the anger number, and sometimes most children that are born under those numbers can be the most angriest or anger or have a little anger issues. Please remember to always stay on a higher level and a higher vibration during this angry cycle of warring energy of the Aries. Because on the other hand of it, because there's duality, remember it's always important to stay on a higher level. Remember that people go through their traumas, their dramas, their issues also. So, but if you learn to pull back and be able to examine what's going on as far as your child is concerned, with as far as your mate is concerned, pay attention to your anger. Pay attention. Even if you decide to clench your hands, sometimes there's a certain metaphysics science that says open your hands instead of clenching
Mm.
your hands, because that creates even more that you want to pop somebody in the head. You
Oh
don't
yeah.
do all of that. We got the hand movements. We be doing what we got to do. And but in martial arts, we that's why most of us who have studied martial arts, I've been studying since 1985. Most of us who've been studying martial arts, we're not here to get into fights. It's like the art of war. We're not here to cause any harm or hurt to anybody. We really just want to get home safely and protect our family. But in
Right.
his of that, we being in the Aries frequency right now, curb your anger and think on a more universal, loving, and peaceful manner during this time. So, being that you're also a holistic chef and a writer, your new book is about to come out. what suggestions do you have for our parents that may want to during this time help our children transition to healthier eating? Because
Mm.
now it's time. And like I told my son's mother, she said, "Oh, I can't eat one meal a day, and I can't do this." Okay, then okay, I'm glad that she eats at least smaller portions, and they're trying to eat more fruits and vegetables and keep the vitamin C's and all the necessary stuff in their system. What do you suggest as a holistic practitioner in that fashion, please?
Hmm. What I would say is that to everything that is man-made or processed, there's always a natural version of it.
Right.
Um, so I'm sure that there is for almost everything that your children may like to eat, there is a more natural version of it or a healthier version of it.
Hmm.
I would start that way. Um, for example, I'll give you a prime example. I know a lot of people that eat oodles and noodles,
Yeah.
and I grew up eating those oodles and noodles too.
Sure.
Ate them in college, all of that.
In college, that's a
And
good food right there.
that, oh my gosh. And oodles and noodles are terrible when you read the back of it.
Ugh.
So I know some people who, they really like, because of financial concerns and different things, it was like, well, this is what we have. And, this is what we're used to eating. This is what they like. I found a more natural version of oodles and noodles in the store.
Where-
And I was like, just add a little seasoning to it the way you like it.
Mhm.
And it had less than half the ingredients that oodles and noodles had. Modify, because unfortunately it's not like in a place like New York City or a lot of big cities, it's not like we live in the jungle where we can just pick the fruit off the trees all the time, which ideally I would prefer. But since we're not in that kind of space, we have to make do with what we have. And that's one of the things that I really admired about Dr. Africa.
Mm.
Dr. Africa taught a lot about those things.
Mhm.
Yes.
Books, man.
Yes.
To Dr. Ali Muhammad also, Dr. Ali Muhammad, who also commended this book as being one of the great books he's read for last year. That book there on children and how to deal with children. And I was just reading something in there about sound therapy. Dr. Africa have something on here on sound therapy because children love sound. People love, especially
Hmm.
a good relatable sound to the child, especially melanated children for some reason, because we like
Yeah.
music and we like to dance and the drums, the heartbeat. Every part of our body has a sound to it. That's why we got organs, because you got to learn
Hmm.
to play these organs all time. So Dr. Africa was very much a promoter of it, and also he taught midwifery. He taught
Hmm.
midwives and doulas and how to be the very best doula in those different types of situations. So, going into that hell, that because all of you younger people and us are taking over what this Baba says and what Dr. Sebi has said and all that, Dr. Africa took time to really study and write what he had to write in segments and put it in book form for us to all learn
Hmm.
and grow in it and add on. So
Right.
that's very important. We got to add on to what he, because things are going to constantly change, especially during now that we have a different paradigm that we're in. This is very interesting because we're in a different
It's a big
paradigm
shift.
where, and yeah, it's a new shift.
Hmm.
And it's not, and I don't consider this a bad shift. I consider this a cleansing shift, a
Hmm.
reawakening shift. And how do someone like you that is a teacher in the system of New York City, but also practicing the alternative ways of teaching and help, how do you cope with what's going on?
To be honest, I
Mhm.
try to keep within the boundaries, but I push the boundaries a little bit.
Look, I was taught that in radio. I understand.
So, for example, I currently teach in a charter school.
Right.
A lot of schools are not very big on spirituality, teaching that to children, even though they're kind of contradictory because when I was growing up, they would have you do the Pledge of Allegiance, but
Right.
that's a
Yeah.
whole nother story.
Another story.
Um, but what I do is I teach my students meditation.
Yes. Good.
And I teach them how to self regulate their emotions and their behavior through meditation. And I tell them that they can go anywhere in their mind with meditation. Um, Whether they're upset, whether they're sad, when they experience these different emotions, you can always sit quietly inside of yourself and just meditate and
Mm.
bring yourself back to balance.
Mm.
Um, I'm very big on talking things through with my students, and I try to think from the mind frame of a child. I think that as an adult, once we become adults, somewhere along that transition, we forget what it's like to be a child. We forget what it's like to think and feel like a child. And I hate to say it, but I feel like children of color, we over scold our children way too much. We over discipline. And we're over disciplining in our mind a lot of times because we're thinking of survival. And we have to get out of that survival mode of thinking, especially with our own children, because that's not how you raise them to be entrepreneurs. That's how you raise them to be employees. When you go into certain types of schools.
Question. Hold on one second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I gotta get. So you said we're thinking survival. Survival. Now, given the situation that we are in as melanated people, there is a survival mechanism that has to kick in. So explain what you're saying when you say survival and
so what I mean is, as people of color, yes, we have a lot of things that are against us in our society, and we do have to be consciously aware of what to do to survive and teach our children that. But there also needs to be spaces of the child, for the child to be free. Balance. Right. Everything that a child is doing, you find a lot of parents take them very personally. Why you just won't sit down? You get them on there, you're trying to embarrass me. No, they're not trying to embarrass you. They're being a child. They have lots of energy and they're trying to get that energy out. A lot of adults, we've been mistaught about a lot of things, and children reteach us if we pay attention to them. For example, if you see a kid eat a piece of watermelon, they eat it all the way down to the rind. And we always go, stop doing that, it's gone already. But you know what? There's research that's coming out that talks about how there's more minerals in the rind of the watermelon. So the children are teaching us. And if we are patient with them at times, and if we take time to really get to understand them and not take it as they're just being an unruly child or a bad child. It's kind of like when the children are babies, we encourage them to talk, say mama, say dada. They get to 3 and they don't stop talking. Oh, be quiet. You just told them to start talking, and they're coming out of their shell and they're trying to be expressive, but then you shut them down. Oh, be quiet. You're talking too much. What? So it's a confusing message, and children get a lot of confusing messages. If you were to sit on the floor or sit like child level and look around the world, you would see so many things that are so stimulating. So children are excited. They just came on this planet. They're seeing these bright colors. They're seeing this. They're like, wow, what is that? I want to touch that. I want to go here. I want to do this. And they're not doing that to be unruly or to be disrespectful. This is part of child development. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand child development. And if we did, we wouldn't scold our children so often for being a child. Not to say let them run free and wild and just have no type of boundaries. Every child needs boundaries, but there has to be balance. And when you look at children who are typically raised to be entrepreneurs, they have a lot more freedom. When you look at schools in higher socioeconomic statuses, it's not a big deal to color in the lines, because the child is not being taught psychologically that you have to stay within boundaries. They are being taught that not sky is the limit. They can go further than the sky. They can go outside of the box. They can go outside of the lines. And that's very important for this new generation of children, because they're a different generation. They are not responding to certain things that are old school minded the way we were. So you have to modify a lot of things with parenting, with teaching, our thinking on the children and how to interact with them. I'm sorry, I get on my podium when I...
That's what you're here for. As a matter of fact, Dr. Africa teaches a lot of that and gives you the European perspective and the Black perspective, where there's a lessons we was taught in lessons in everything in nature. There's lesson. That's why it wasn't always formally inside of a building. They had you out there sitting on the floor, learning about the tree, learning about the plant, learning about fire, learning about this, learning about that, learning about breath, learning about various things, and that being confined in a building or in a mountain or in caves like Europeans was taught. Dr. Africa breaks it down in this book, but he also breaks it down in the new Nutricide book called "The Destruction of the Black Nation Nutricide." It's a second Nutricide, but no, that was very good. And but still, if you have the majority of our people that were never taught how to raise their children, and it was passed down from generation to generation, you're going to constantly have this type of manner of whipping, doing the slave master thing, whipping you and beating you into submission and all that kind of, and most of us are guilty of it. Our parents, my parents was guilty of it. I was guilty of it to a certain, so I started
We
understanding.
all went through it.
Had to understand that. Instead, I used to put my children in exercise mode. Like I wasn't the one that bought my children toys. I let the rest of the family do that. And men are going to teach their children a little bit. And Phil Valentine said something key. Boys need to be challenged. Women are taught to be the nurture and the balanced one, and challenge them to be the balance in nature and nurturing and all that. But men need to be able to be challenged, whether we take martial arts, take boxing, whether they send us out in the woods to go fight a tiger or lion or bear, whatever we have to do, there has to be a challenge. So there has to be the balance of both male and female, and how to use those two at a certain extent. Of course, when the child come out of the mother's womb, they're with the mother, and then at a certain age they come with the father, where they develop those manly skills, especially when it comes to men. Now with the sisters, it's a different way of raising them, because we're going to teach them how to fight, and we want them to learn how to fight, but we want them to learn how to fight with grace.
Right.
So you add ballet to the martial arts. You know what I'm saying? You add, a ballet to boxing, where, with the boys, we're teaching them how to be a straight fighter, but also they should be taught how to be able to handle things from their feminine aspect of them also, or that sensitive aspect of them also, which was totally removed from us after doing slavery and colonialism and all that. It's been totally removed from us, and they did that purposely to do that. So somebody said on Facebook, and I want to throw this in real quick. Somebody said on Facebook, "Oh, if women control the world, it wouldn't be this way." And I had to say, if women are still remotely controlled by white men, it will still be the same way. Don't make sense.
Hello.
Women and black men and black women got to go back into get out of the remotely controlled mind into their right knowledge mind. And there's enough books from our ancestors that taught our right-minded teachers, right-minded education. But a lot of us are not reading. A lot of us are not studying. So it don't make sense for us it's just like the school. Me and you have talked about it. And I know you see the brilliance in your children, but like you said, you have to work in the confines of that. And yes, you push it, but there are children right now in Africa right now that are learning multiple languages one time. They're not learning just one language. You know Spanish, you speak Spanish, you know a little French, but learning multiple languages is something that comes norm to them. It's like, okay.
It seems to be normal all around the world to know more than one language, except in America.
It just enhances the brain strength. It keeps on. I don't understand why we don't think like why America don't think like we know. If we study, it's in the books, it's in Africa.
America's very arrogant.
Of course.
And America plays on extremes of everything. America feels like we're American. We shouldn't have to learn anything else.
Exactly.
Everybody that comes here should learn English.
Exactly.
And it's like, what? America, first of all, this is a stolen land. And then on top of it being a stolen land, the people who stole it came from different cultures. They weren't indigenous to this land. They didn't speak the indigenous language of this land. So, it's a whole lot of mess to it. Like, I'm very big on not teaching about Christopher Columbus. I refuse. I don't care where I teach at. And if I do, I'm going to teach the kids the truth.
That's right.
I'm not going to take it to a level where I traumatize them, but where I feel like they can developmentally understand. And I'm a very big advocate on giving children toys, especially female children, dolls that are a reflection of them.
Right. Right.
I've gone back and forth with people about that many times in school systems, because I feel like in our children's imaginary world, they shouldn't have to try to be anything other than themselves, not even in their imaginary world. It's important for every child to have a positive reflection of themselves, even in play, because that helps to enhance self-esteem. There's a lot of things that can be taught in play. Right. That's actually where you can do your best teaching with children, is through play. That's when you can find out more information. That's why there's a special type of therapy called play therapy for children who have been traumatized and been through different types of trauma. Prior to becoming a school teacher, I used to do child abuse investigations and work in child welfare for years. And I've seen a lot with that. With the children, how they were dealt with, and children dealing with different types of traumas and how it manifested in that child. And so, things like that are very important to me that may be overlooked. I was at a school one year, and, it was a predominantly Black school, and they got a alleged donation of toys, and all the dolls for the little girls are white. And I'm like, you would never see that in a predominantly white school where they give all the kids Black dolls.
Exactly.
But you'll have a lot of people of color that will argue with you back and forth about that. Oh, it doesn't matter what color the dolls are. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. If you understand the psychology behind it, and if you understand that your child is going to have to build self-esteem, these are critical years of development for the child. Would you give a completely Caucasian school all Black dolls? That wouldn't happen. Because they need a reflection of themselves, and they understand that.
And that's why that video is still out there about they rejecting the Black doll as white dolls. That's been out for 25 or more years, since I was even younger. So I've seen these videos. I mean, they got some. Then they did a recent one where it's still happening.
Absolutely, because the children receive by the age of 3 or 4 that message on their place in society. They receive that message already. 3 and 4 years on this planet, they know, okay, I'm Black, I'm dark, I'm light, I'm white, and they act and behave accordingly to it. It's unfortunate.
But those that are just tuning in, we're speaking with Sister Asmaaa Z, or Zabrinsky. I like to say Asmaaa Z because they call her Miss Z in school. Because the children, the children ain't gonna say that. 3, 4 years old, they trying to say it, but it's good to teach them it though. So the full name, so they can put some respect to that name, Zabrinsky. Because I remember when she first told me that name, I said Zabrinsky. Wait a minute.
You know something interesting?
It's
a Polish last name, but everybody I found in my bloodline researching with that name is Black. Everybody. I went up to the 1800s to a Black man named Edward Zabriskie. And his father had the same last name, and his father's documents said he was Black. So it's interesting.
No, it is interesting. Those that are just tuning in, like I said, I'm going to put her link. She does do consultation, whether it's numerology and astronumerology for the children or the child, but also children, because she worked for child services now, before, and she's now a school teacher. Now, that's an interesting part of your life that I like to hear about briefly. I know you can't say that much, and I tell her, let me tell you, people, I tell her all the time, she has a book on every little thing. And if I recorded her, she would have a book for everything, whether it's a children's book or an entire novel as thick as Dr. Africa. So
that's because I like to talk.
And what's so funny is that Dr. Africa liked to write. You know what I'm saying? And he wrote everything. I told people he wrote everything from pen to paper, and then gave the information to his wife to edit and do what she had to do to make it happen. But that was it. So child services, the things that you've seen, I know you can't say too much, especially online, but the importance of what parents need to recognize when there's some type of abuse going on in their child, when they don't even realize that it's going on. It could be from a relative or family or friend, or bullying. Bullying used to be in my face back in my school. It wasn't none online. Like a comedian said, if a bully is trying to bully you online, turn off your computer. That's funny. It is, because that's some punk stuff. When I had a bully in my face where I had to fight them.
Right.
I ain't fighting. You on the computer.
It's new age stuff.
Delete, block party. I got a whole bunch of things. I could block the party. I could delete them. What do you feel about what's going on as far as the children, and how would you tell parents how to recognize abuse that's going on? Because I know you had to investigate things like that also.
Yes, I would say definitely look at changes in your child's behavior.
Somebody asked if you have an online curriculum for 3 and 4 years old. Ooh,
You know what? I'm definitely considering building that up soon, if possible.
That's her link.
Man,
I've been
you
telling
guys can check out the Children's Network, because that one I'm planning on posting videos so you guys can see some of like little free lessons that you can have with your child with read alouds and stuff. But
and what's the name of the YouTube again? What's the name of that YouTube?
It's I just made it like the other day.
You have one. You got too many. Have one of them that they can go to immediately.
Okay, Return to Pachamama Children's Network.
Then focus on that one. Too much. Focus on that one.
Number 3 placement going all over the place.
That's her numbers now. The threes. They be like this. 3s and 5. They be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And nothing done. You got to focus. Nobody can't find you if you're one place, if you're all over the place.
Right.
So
absolutely.
Return to Pachamama what?
Children's Network.
Okay, so I'm gonna put that on there now. Go ahead, speak. Continue speaking, please.
So you asked about the child abuse. So different things to notice is behavioral issues in your child. If you find things like your child is frequently urinating, sometimes that can be an indicator of abuse. Doesn't necessarily mean it's abuse if your child is frequently urinating, but it could be or constantly having rashes in their private area. If you find that your child is afraid to go to certain people's houses and things of that nature, just any changes. If your child used to have good grades and then the grades start to slip and they start to have poor grades, there's a lot of indicators of child abuse. A lot of regression in behavior, going backwards. I'll give you an example. I got a little raspy voice. I had I had a child that I used to work with who had witnessed a violent, she was only 2 years old. She had witnessed a violent, brutal stabbing. And the child struggled to sleep at night. The child had to start wearing Pampers again because, the child just started regressing backwards. And then the child started smearing her feces on the wall. That's a very big psychological issue that needs to be dealt with immediately if you see a child doing that. I'm not talking about a newborn or a 6-month or 1-year-old baby just being silly. I'm talking about after like traumas or different things like that. Right. There's a lot of ways to spot. Also, your child wearing multiple layers of clothing in hot climates.
Like now? Yeah. Everybody got to wear clothing now? No,
not like that. No, I mean like if it's 90 degrees outside and your child got on 3 hoodies.
Okay.
And 2 to 3, 4, 5 pairs of pants. A lot of times what you'll see with children is that they'll start to wear different layers because it makes them think that they're not as vulnerable to the abuse. Okay. Poor hygiene is a very big indicator of depression. And babies and little kids can get depressed. I've worked with depressed babies before. I've never thought that existed until I worked with them. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this baby is depressed. Right. And that was interesting for me. Yeah, so you definitely want to teach your kids to have an open relationship with you, to be able to come to you about anything going on. And you want to make it a comfortable space. You don't want the kid to be like, oh, I know if I came to you, you would get angry at the person and attack the person. You don't want to create that space, even if you are going to do it. You don't want to create that space with your child because you want them to trust you enough, because children are very adult pleasing and people pleasing naturally when they're in certain age frames. So they don't want to get anybody in trouble. Yes. They don't want anybody to be mad at them. And you want to keep those communication lines open so that they know, okay, no one is supposed to touch you in these private places. Right. And this is what the private places are. You want to explain those things. Like I explain that to my students in my class. And it was funny because we talked about if someone tries to snatch you, and it was cute, but it was kind of crazy because only 1 out of 20 students knew what to do. 1.
Wow. Wow. That's deep.
And I was like, if a kid, and we acted it out to make it silly, so it's not as heavy on the kids, but to teach the skill. So like, we were like, well, what if you do? If someone says, hey, little boy, you want to see my little puppy in my van? And the babies are so innocent. They're like, yeah. I'm like, no. You don't say yeah.
Exactly.
You know, we had to teach that. And I said, that's the time, even though we tell you to keep your hands to yourself, that is the time that you don't have to keep your hands to yourself. That's the time that you kick, that you scream, that you scratch, that you bite. That's the time when it's okay to do that and you run. You know what I mean? So like just teaching basic skills like that to little kids. I mean, even though they're little, they need to know that. They need to know that your name is not mommy. Your name is not daddy.
Right.
Daddy's name is such. Mommy's name is such and such.
No, because you know that's interesting to me because it touches home because someone tried to kidnap my sister and I when we were young, and we lived over there on Fulton Street. Those who know Atlantic Terminals over there on Fulton and Carlton Avenue in Adelphi. I used to live in those buildings back in the late 70s, going into 80s, 79, 80s, and a guy drove up and actually said my mother's last name. He said, Miss Brown told me to pick you up. So
oh, wow.
we coming from the store. And those that know Atlantic Terminals, the store, the supermarket used to be right where the dentist office is right now in front of the 25 and 26 bus stop over there on Carlton and Delphi on Fulton Street. So there was a supermarket there. So we was going to the supermarket, me and my sister just running over there having fun. So we coming back and we going in there, and the guy calling us to the car, telling us, Miss Brown told me to pick you up and take you over. I said, I said to my sister, we looked at my sister, we looked at each other, laughed, and she said, that couldn't happen because she just sent us to the store. We were running inside the project. So because it was a little the co-op area, that's what we used to call it. Atlantic Terminal. But yeah, I remember that very clearly, like it was yesterday. Somebody tried to snatch us up and asked us to come to the car. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I'm like, to me, my spirit just said, I know what this is all about. I think to happen. My mom just sent us to the store. What are you talking
about? Now, here's the thing. That's also why you just made me think of why it's important to have the mother and the father involved in the child's life. Because if you notice, people a lot of times talk about male children when they don't have a father, but it also affects the female children in a great way as well. Exactly. You'll find that a lot of kids have a lot more confidence when they have their fathers there.
Right.
You know, the kids need the nurturing of the mother as well. And the reason I say that that's important is because when you're in situations, kids that will be targeted for like sex trafficking to take them a lot of times or to do all kind of weirdo shit to them, a lot of times are children that have lower self-esteem. And without the presence of the mother being strong, without the presence of the father being strong and being positive presences, your child becomes more at risk for vultures like that. So you have people who just want to steal the innocence out of children. And a lot of sexual abuse goes deep in a large part of my family. You know what I mean? And you have people that try to take advantage of children, but you want your child to have self-esteem. You want them to be like, I'm going to tell my daddy. You want to, because there's a certain pride when a kid says that, because daddies are like the superheroes to a child.
Yes,
no matter how crooked or whatever the father may be, the father might have the father can have one eye, but that's my daddy.
my daddy Popeye.
Right?
he eat a spinach, he gonna beat you up.
Right. You know what I mean? It don't matter. To the child, the daddy is the superhero. You know what I mean? And the mom is the comforter. The mom is the one that helps to bring the balance, that brings that love. The mom, as KT pointed out on one video he did, the mom is the first one that feeds you.
That's right.
So that's important, and a lot of times us ladies, because of our traumas and different things, we become so hard because we feel like we have to be the man and the woman. And that's another effect on the children, because I know mothers who don't really hug their children, and their children as they grow up, don't know how to receive affection, don't know how to give affection.
Mm.
And all of these things play into the attachment styles of how your child is going to interact with the rest of the world. Because people think that, oh, they're cute and they're babies. They're not going to be babies forever. They have to interact with the rest of the world. So you have to teach them certain skills, and you have to teach them certain things so that they can be prepared to encounter this world that we live in. This world is not always fair. There's a lot of great things in the world. There's a lot of negative things in the world. They have to know how to combat those things and understand what it is.
Mm. And that is a fact. That is true. So, people that are just tuning in, want to thank all of y'all so far for coming in and showing my sister some love. She's doing her thing in many ways, in many fashion. She's helping out our children. Of course, like I said, I put up all of her links right here in the description. Well, it's going to be in the description, yes, below. But also, remember, you can actually contact her for consultation at Return to Pachamama. That's Pachamama products for 4683 at.
I know it's kind of long.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta keep it simple, But I learned to try to keep it simple. But yeah, I know. Let me make sure everything is right here. Let me hold on before we remove that. I'm going to put it in the description bar again. Sorry, there it is. There we go. Yes, yes. And also you can actually hit up on IG at Return to Pachamama.
Yes, add me. Return to Pachamama, unapologetic Asmaaa. Add me. I show some of my food there, some of my plant-based food.
Yeah, and you got a Cash App if you want to show love and show support. That's
absolutely
$A Zabrinsky, ZABRISKIE.
I could use them coins.
Yes, them coins are helpful. Believe me, them coins are helpful. And before we go, I just want to make sure that people know that she's also available for consultation for numerology for the children and the parent, if you want to do it individual or separate, just to learn to understand your child, and so your child will also grow to understand you. That's it. Because even some of my children come to me for numerovation sessions, and I did my daughter, I do my sons, and when they call that, I don't charge them. I just break it down to them right now and right then, whether they understand or not. You got to give them that understanding. My youngest child, I actually taught him from the board how to understand certain people's name, even if it just starts with a letter, because each letter transposes into a number. And once I showed my son how to recognize which number is his challenge as a number 7. So if you find somebody born under the number 9, the 9 is very important. He's born on the 7, so 9 is very much a challenge to him. So he has to be very mindful of people born under that 9 energy or that 8 energy, especially argumentative energies. And going through the numbers, I want to just
coming up. Yep.
I just want you to recognize that even in the numbers as far as my research of numbers that are, hey, mother, how you doing, mom? Hey, what's up? Long time. You all right?
Yeah, okay.
Even the numbers that attract fondling and molestation, there's numbers that I found in my studies of numbers: the 2, the 4, the 6, and the 8. And the 5 at certain instances can also attract the negative of love, and also attract molestation or fondling and all that kind of stuff. But especially the even numbers, because those are more of the female sensitive numbers that we have to pay attention to, especially with children born, let's say on the 2nd, the 11th, the 20th, the 29th of the month, or the 4th, the 13th, the 22nd, or the 31st of the month, or the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th of the month, or the 8th, the 17th, and the 26th of the month. So when I do sessions with young people, or do sessions with parents, I tell them to look out for that. And then you might be born with a multitude of numbers in your name that might attract that.
Right.
So you could be born under a assertive number 9 or assertive number 1, that we know you're assertive and argumentative and all that, but also be molested by, because there's a certain attraction of the amount of numbers, like the numbers 2 could be, because there's another sensitive energy that's there that people are attracted to. And remember, people are attracted to each other energetically. So negative people pick up on your energy just as good as positive people. That's why there's books like Energy Vampires that I always recommend. This is one good book I tell people to recognize. This book here is called Energy Vampires, written by Dorothy Harbour. Very good book to recognize and identify who are energy vampires around you, in your family, in your classroom. And then there's another book here called Dodging Energy Vampires. I like
Oh
to
yeah.
that I promote a lot too, written by a doctor, Christian Northrup, a MD. Dodging energy vampires, where you learn to recognize the narcissists and all those different types of people that can come with their negative energy and try to disrespect you or disrespect your children. And women in general, be careful of the men you allow into your houses, your home, and be careful of men that's been going through certain things, and as far as too much excessive drinking and sexual activities, or in and out of prison a lot. You got to be very mindful of that. Bringing them into your home, and you have a young girl or a young boy, you got to be very mindful and protective of that. So I'm very concerned about that. And because, as much as we want to keep it positive, these are some stressful times, and stress brings about hurtful things that can happen inside the household, whether people might be killing each other, abusing each other. Check on your friends, check on somebody, check on people, make sure they're all right, make sure they're not being abused because they're in a quarantine. Oh, you can't go nowhere now. So get the belt because I'm about to whip your ass. Look, you can still call 911. You can still call a friend and let the friend call 911. Blink twice with one eye and say, look, he's beating the hell out of me. Whatever. You got to give these signs up. You got to let them know, family. This is a serious subject for me, because it has happened in my family, throughout my family, and all that kind of stuff. So it's very important that we understand, like Sister Asma says she's gone through and dealt with that in her family. So it's very important. And once again, please get Dr. Africa's book. Very good book. He touches on all the subjects in the books. Very good book to have. Asma's book is almost coming out. Tell them the name of your book again.
Veggiegasms. Stay tuned.
Veggiegasm. Now, how you spell that so I can put it out there? Veggie.
Veggiegasms.
Veggiegasm. That's the name of the book, y'all. And yeah, it's called Veggiegasm. Of course, my book is Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. And then my no promotion is bad promotion. All publicity is good publicity. Just spell my name right. And of course, my children's book, which I don't have, I sell it out every time. I gave that away to a family member. Our Numbers Are Simple. Our children's health is important. Anything you'd like to say before we get off the line, darling?
I just want to thank everybody for listening. It's amazing. Feel free to hit me up for any consultations regarding your child. If you want to know how to deal with your child, or you want me to compare your numbers with your child and try to understand why you two have conflict, let me know. Feel free to hit me up via email. I'm trying to get a work number as well, which I will have soon. Follow me on Instagram, Unapologetic Asmaaa. Which King Simon already posted in the chat. You can also follow me on Return to Pachamama, because there's some other things that I do that you will find out about.
Yes. All right,
using some of that black girl magic. So
she's also a great songstress. She's a very good singer. She does a whole lot. Of course, you can go on her Instagram, Unapologetically Asmaaa, and you could see some of the food she put up and all that. I tell her all the time, focus, whatever that is. Return to Pachamama. Which one is which? Which one is which one is which? So you can build that audience and hashtag everybody.
Right.
So, once again, Asmaaa, I want to talk to you. I want to thank you. I want to make sure everything is well. I want to thank you and your family, and thank, of course, your mama, who used to be the bean pie maker on Fordham Road.
She sure was.
That bean pie. What?
Yes.
So big up to her and all the people we used to hang out with back in the day, Hadia's moms and everybody. Big up to Hadia and everybody else. And thank you very much for being on the platform. Again, share this video, family. Share this video. I want y'all all to share this video. I'm gonna make my sister go home head. I'm gonna big up what I have to big up and then keep it moving. I want to thank you very much, darling. And we'll talk.
Thank you for the platform. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. You have a good time, and I will talk later. Okay.
All right.
That's my girl Asma. Go remove her right now. Keep it moving. And of course, yeah, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here and joining. Remember, keep a positive vibe. Man. Keep a positive vibe. You know what I'm saying? Even during this time, even if they say it might get worse, no. In its worst, we gonna get better. Even if it get worse, we gonna get better. So understanding the numbers are very important for understanding the numbers and the children. And we're gonna have, I know myself and Lloyd Strayhorn is supposed to come up on this channel. We might come up on this channel next Sunday. Myself and Lloyd Strayhorn, but I know we're supposed to do Brother Richard's show soon. Brother Richard's gonna let us know. Matter of fact, and this coming Wednesday, I have a metaphysics and orgone energy master coming in. If you don't know what orgone energy is, orgone energy, let me show you my orgone tool right now. I have it here somewhere. My orgone, I keep them near my computers all the time, my orgone tools made by various people. But this is one of my orgone energy tools. This one was made by Audra from out of Detroit, but I have some of Jerry Miller's organites. This is very good for a computer, lowering the frequency around your computer. Is made of different organite energies, copper and mixture of different stones in it. Very good to have around your computer, whether you have it in the front or the back. It helps to lessen the energy and lower the ELF waves or the extra low frequency waves around our computer. Also, shungite is also good. And I have Brother Jerry Miller coming in on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So Brother Jerry Miller, Teacher Jerry Miller, who used to be called Teacher Ali back in the day when we was in the Islamic community, will be here with us. And we're going to be dropping that information. And the title is called Everything You Want is on the Other Side of Fear. Have no fear. Have no fear. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. And big up to Brother Panic and Brother Dr. Aleem that did a great 9-hour job. That's a, like Jerry Miller said, that's a whole day's of work. 9 hours on Brother Panic. I mean, I literally watched it, started watching it probably 3 days ago, and I just finished last night. But it was full of information. Brother Panic and Brother Dr. Aleem broke down that whole thing, the whole scenario, and understanding who we are from a whole metaphysics, understanding us from a micro and macro cosmic level, so we don't have to be afraid of the bull craps that they pull out there. They're gonna, like I've said on numerous video, 2020, which the 2-2 shows up, represents illusions and delusions that they're gonna put out there. They putting out those illusions and delusions, and our premise is to hold the fortification of our mind together, not going down the worrisome, not going down the depression. It almost caught me again today. It almost caught me. Depression, a little depression almost caught me, and then I got up and took a walk around the neighborhood. I said, you know what? I can still take a walk around the neighborhood. I'm gonna still focus and keep it moving and do what I had to do. It is what it is. And I felt better walking out. I felt better going to train and work out and go work out and do something on my Wave Master. I have a Wave Master that's about 250 pounds worth of weight. And so I'm punching on it or working out on it. So I work out every day to get my workout, my jumping jacks. If you want to build your energy up early in the morning, drink a glass or 2 glasses of water, open up all your organs, and then do some jumping jacks, or do jumping jacks first if you don't want to jump up the water in your system, or do jumping jacks first to get that energy up. It builds your energy, It starts moving your, keeping your limbs, get your limbs moving. So I do that early in the morning to keep myself going, to start me up, do some push-ups, get my push-ups in, get my crunches in, get my sit-ups in early in the morning. Got to drink that water, open it up, open it up. Took a skateboard, that's right, take a skateboard break. Do all the little children things you used to do. Hey, do all the little children things you used to do also. That's why, great motivational speakers always say to think like a child, but work like an adult. Still have the visualization of a child, the imagination of a child, but start putting those visualization and childlike visualization and imagination of a child, but put it into the adult stand. Work like an adult. Put that whole energy as an adult in. Don't lose that childlike attitude, man. Hey, look, find your child and play hide and go seek in the house, whatever. Play hide and go seek, things that you used to do when you was a child. Do it again and bring that vibes back, because sometimes going what we go work out with my children. That's right, work out with your children, man. Yeah, I seen a little baby, seen a little baby following her dad, following his dad, doing push-ups. Now the baby can't be no older than like 4 years old, but he there doing it too, following his father, getting that push-up in. It was on Instagram. Very beautiful look, very beautiful look. And that's what you have to do. Yeah, you wake up. I wake up early in the morning. The sun was out in New York, man. I sat in the sun and took a sun bath. Lucky I would have went butt naked. They like I'm bucket naked. I would be like my man Bernie Mac, bucket naked. I would have been bucket naked in my backyard. They lucky. They are lucky. So it is what it is. Once again, thank all of you for supporting. Make sure you send this out, share this with other people, because it was a very highly energized show. Sister Asma did a great job. She's a school teacher. She used to work for child services. So you're going to get some of the stuff, going to get some of those understanding. And she touched on some numerology. And if you want to do a numerovation session with me, please text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. I'm going to put her thing right back on. And I'm going to put my link on the I'm gonna put my link on the chat also, but also look out for it in the description bar. Also, look out for it in the description bar. Also, and I'm very, like I said, this coming Wednesday we got the Oregon Master coming in. Jerry Miller will be in with us this coming Wednesday. This coming Wednesday, Jerry Miller will be with us. So please, please, please be with us Wednesday at 9 o'clock for a session with me. For a session with me. Please, sounded like a red alert. Take text me your full name and date of birth and DOB 2-347-496-1022. That's right, 347-496-1022. I do have a Twitter. My Twitter is King Simon Prod. That's right. I'm gonna put that in right now. King Simon Prod at Twitter, PROD at Twitter. Yeah, I do have a Twitter. And of course, I'm on Instagram at King Simon Productions and Numeroversity and King Simon on Facebook, King Simon Productions on Facebook, and MC Simon on Facebook. If I'm not responding to MC Simon at this time, I forgot the password. Let's be real. I forgot the password. So I got to go redo all of that. And I just ain't got no time to do all of that right now. So go to King Simon or King Simon Productions and join my public pages over there. Or anything that you see King Simon Productions, King Simon Presents, and you see my face or you see my logos, that's me. All right. Look, have a great day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're watching this, whatever time you're watching it. It is time for me to get on out of here. I'm going to leave you with one of my great songs that I'm about to turn into a book form, and it's called One Life to Live by King Simon, written back in 1990 and performed and produced at Jammin's recording studio, King Jammin's. I put some respect to King Jammin's name in recording studio in Waterhouse. Big up to Waterhouse, Jamaica. My family from Spanish Town, so big up to Waterhouse, Jamaica all the time. So, yo, I'm out. I'll see y'all later. I'm doing it. I did the global meditation. It was great. Loved it. I'll take care of y'all. All right. Be safe. And we have to live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it. No matter what they say, you should always try to live a positive life anyway. We only have one life to live, and we got to live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it. No matter what they say, we should always try to live a positive life anyway. We all know time is running out every day. The people they know
test. I want the whole world to confess that we all should try to live our life the best way that we can. So I know we only have one life to live, and we got to live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life anyway.